right, so it's time to get this damn Audi up on jack stands. All right, that wasn't so bad. Anybody who has one of these low pro long reach 3 tons knows, man, these things are heavy. All right, let's get this sucker jacked up. All right, well, first I gotta disconnect this front end because it's just sitting on a block right now. And once the car is in the air, all this stuff is gonna be floating. So best if I just unhook it real quick. Ha, right.
1 hour later.
Ah, yes. All right, well, my hand slipped. My thumb jammed into another clamp and just completely jammed my thumbnail, and I could see blood oozing out of my glove. So this ought to be fun. It doesn't feel too good. It has bleeding underneath the thumbnail. That feels awesome. That jack stand, actually both of them, but mainly this one, just sank with the weight of the car. So, extremely safe. Let's crawl underneath it and do an oil change now. That sounds like a great idea. Or not an oil change, but fix the oil pan. Let's do it. These little rat bastards, man. They must die. While editing this video, I realized that I'm missing part of the story. While I had the Audi up on jack stands, I did go ahead and proceed with dropping the oil pan, which was necessary because it had a severe leak. So I dropped it, put a fresh RTV sealant layer on there and reinstalled it, topped off the entire coolant system, and then I went ahead and put some heat in the gas tank because this gas has been sitting in here for over a year. So now you're about to witness the first start in over a year's time. First try? First turnover in a year, and she fired right up.
Let's go, Bliss! Go!
Still smoking like crazy. All right, so we definitely got a vacuum leak right here. And I'm sure this will change as it runs a little longer, but no check engine lights on, which is weird. I know for a fact there's got to be a misfire, but maybe I fixed it. All right, it is kind of late in the day. There's only about 30 minutes left before sun goes down. I got to get this thing off jack stands. I got to get some air in the tires. Probably button up a couple things on the front end. And I want to actually run this thing for a little while, see if it helps adjust some of the misfires. You know, if it could just self-adjust itself, you know, just burn through some of the crap from doing the carbon cleanup, some of the bad gas from it sitting for so long, things like that. So get this thing off jack stands, get some air in the tires, and hopefully maybe it's Christmas Eve. Maybe test drive it tomorrow, Christmas Day. I don't know, probably not. Maybe the following day. We will see. But stay tuned. All right, guys. Super excited right now. I hope it's not a fluke, but It has been running for approximately 20 minutes now, just idling. And it's fully up to temp now. And now that it's fully up to temp, even with the really crappy gas in there, check it out. The smoke is almost gone from the exhaust. So, what does that mean? I don't know. I'm not a mechanic, but I can only imagine that it was just like, I went through a lot of the motor, as you saw in the previous videos. The exhaust on this, the whole underside of this thing is covered in rust and oil. So a lot of that smoke coming out of there could have just been oil built up in the exhaust. Because when I got this thing, if you remember, or you could watch back to the old videos, when I got this thing, it had a horrible oil leak. I don't know where it was coming from. That's why I went through so much different stuff in the motor. But it could have been a lot of just gunk, oil, crap, getting past like the PCV valve and everything and getting into the exhaust and just sitting in there. And then when it was in my possession, the exhaust never got hot enough because I started taking things apart right away. So it never got hot enough to burn all that stuff off. And then I did the carbon cleanup and all the other things. All those things contributing to the smoke in the exhaust. But I never, you know, all the testing that I've done so far, I didn't have the whole coolant system hooked up because I had everything taken apart. So now that I got the coolant system hooked up, got the car running and idling for a long time, got it up to temp, everything's hot. The smoking has gone way, way, way down. It's definitely still smoking a little bit, but I haven't even driven this thing yet. So I think the best game plan is, for me moving forward, is to get this thing off the jack stands, get those tires aired up, and take this baby for a rip and see what happens. You know, put some real heat through this thing and go from there. Now, if you just saw, I ran the codes. There is a cylinder 6 misfire, which I've been expecting or guessing that was one of my issues, was a misfire, because I was having trouble getting one of the ignition coils to snap on properly. So I got to do my research, figure out which one is cylinder 6, and then see if it's the coil, if it's the injector, if it's see what's going on, why that cylinder is misfiring. But other than that, man, time to get this thing on the driveway, get it washed up, and take it for a rip and see what happens. Then we can move on to some of the fun stuff. Let's do it. All right, it has been a couple days. I'm back out here with the Audi, trying to troubleshoot this code that I'm getting. It's P0306, which comes up as a engine misfire, and it's saying it's on cylinder 6. So according to Audi Zine forums, that is going to be this cylinder here. So just going to go through the normal steps process of elimination. Just remove that, check the spark plug, switch the coils, and go from there. See if, you know, if I switch this coil with this coil, see if it jumps to this other cylinder, which would be cylinder 7. So let's do that, see what happens. Plug looks great. So that's really weird. All right, I fiddled around with some other things for about an hour while I charged the battery, which an hour realistically probably isn't enough time for charging it, but let's see what happens. Hallelujah. All right, so let's erase the old code, pull the new code, see what's going on. Well, seems like there's no codes anymore. There's no check engine light either. I have a ABS light, traction control light, and an airbag light. So we're going to have to figure those out. But as far as engine codes go, I'm getting the green light over here. That wasn't the case when I first started it up. It was lighting up red over here. But it still wasn't showing any codes. I turned it off, turned it back on, scanned it again, and we got the green light. So looks like we're good to go. Swapping those ignition coils, maybe it just wasn't seated properly or something, but it is now. Not sure. Let's see if the rat is back. You ready? Are you ready? Let's see if it's back. There it is. Look at the size of that thing.
That's disgusting.
Oh, did you see it, West? That thing was a beast.
That is absolutely disgusting.
I gotta trap it somehow. It's time to get rid of him once and for all. All right, she moves. It's a good day, but I have no power steering for some reason, so that was quite difficult to move, as you may have noticed. Thought I was gonna get a cool shot, you know, just whipping it out of that other driveway, but I couldn't do any whipping because I had no steering. So gotta figure that out before we take it for a test rip. Probably has a power steering fluid leak or something. All right, that's not coming off. Gonna have to figure that out. Check back in soon. All right, so it's been a few days. Got power steering fluid. I don't even know if it's the right one. It says it only takes mineral-based power steering fluid. This is all I could find at any of the auto parts stores. It says it's a synthetic mineral-based power steering fluid, but I don't know if it's compatible with the whatever remnants of fluid is left in there, because that one is synthetic, I believe. I don't know, but it's making some funny sounds. Should have known that was going to happen. Woo! Sounds good. Damn, I love the sound of that V8, baby. Take that over the turbocharged 2.0 any day. Temp is good. No check engine lights, no weird noises. Actually, even the power steering pump sounds good today, which is weird. It's driving great, so don't know what to make of all that information, but seems like a good thing. So I'm not pushing it at all. I'm just cruising because I don't have the front bumper on yet, and I do have the cooling shrouds on the front, and they're only held on by 2 screws each, so I don't want to catch too much air in those when there's no surrounding bumper to protect it and like contain it. So I just don't want to rip those off. So I'm just cruising. I'm only going 40 miles an hour right now. All right, she's up in the air. I'm excited to get under here and see what it looks like, but I'm also very nervous because I know how oily and how rusty this undercarriage is. So you're gonna see it for the first time with me right now. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, look at that. The exhaust right there, that heat shroud on this exhaust is completely rusted through. Oh wow, that has taken an impact before. That heat shroud is just like completely ripped up right there. All right, that's ripped up right there. So this is definitely gone over some speed bumps or something. It's causing it to snag I really want to see up here where the transmission meets the motor, where it mounts, because I have a feeling that I have a rear main seal leak. Okay, my oil pan is leaking like a son of a bitch, as you can see. I saw that as soon as I pulled in the driveway. It's like once it's under pressure and it's hot, it leaks. So I'm gonna have to drop that dang pan again and seal it up again. But actually, it doesn't look too bad under here compared to what I was expecting. Okay, so it's been making this weird noise that I haven't been happy with, and just quite frankly, I just don't even know what it is. I don't remember if it was making this noise before I worked on it or not, but regardless, it's making the noise now. At the front of the car, it sounds like it's coming from the radiator, but I don't think it is. It's making like this weird, it almost sounds like a gurgling sound, but when you get under here, I believe it's the harmonic balancer, the crankshaft pulley, that is making that sound. It sounds way different under here, and it sounds like it's coming from the crankshaft pulley. And now it's leaking coolant. Awesome. Gotta love project cars. All right, so it started leaking out of the radiator right beyond right there. So I better hurry up and get this thing back home before I can't make it home. All right, so we're back in the lift. Dropping the oil pan so we can fix it, air quotes, for the third time, maybe even fourth time. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this video. Obviously, there's something going on with the engine bay and the leaks and stuff that still needs to be addressed, but we're gonna crack on with some other stuff. Future videos, it's gonna be getting that front end fully back on, which just involves getting the new bumper that we got from the junkyard, getting it wrapped, wrapping the rest of the car. We do have some damage on this side, so I already have a replacement door, which will also have to be wrapped. And then this rear section here has a couple small dents in it, but obviously I'm not going to replace this whole quarter panel. So the game plan is to do some body work on this up here, keeping the rocker panel and replacing the door with a handle, obviously. So we'll get all that wrapped, and then We got some new suspension to put on this thing. What else? We got some interior stuff to swap out, like some of the trim pieces. Quite a bit of stuff left to do for future videos, so you're gonna have to subscribe to follow the journey. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one. God bless. Peace out.